Hi, I'm Sarah. Today we are going to be making rustic boho clay bowls. That's a mouthful. It took me 45 minutes to make, give or take many minutes, but I am working with a baby. You'll get to see her lovely hands trying to help, and it's a good time. So real quick, it's gonna kind of whiz by fast. You're gonna need nonstick paper, tape, tools to sculpt with or cut. You can get those things at a crafting store, or you can get stuff in your kitchen like you were gonna play with Play-Doh. So it's gonna go kind of fast, so I wanna do that little warning real quick before we do it. So here we go. All right, so here's your nonstick paper. I just used whatever generic brand. Then you had your tape. Here's the tools I used. Here's the clay. I chose terracotta color because that fit with the boho. It was a mix of the boho rustic style. It wasn't cement, but it wasn't marble either. So that's why I chose terracotta color. So I have everything taped down, and now I am rolling, or I'm warming the clay because I'm using Sculpey polymer clay, Sculpey brand polymer clay in terracotta color, and it needs to be warmed up because my house is cold. So now we get to see the lovely montage of me just rolling and rolling the clay, and adding more, because to make the bowl size I wanted to do, I was not getting the size I wanted. So I end up adding a lot of clay, basically everything you see in the bag, but I didn't use it all. I think I did use it all. Anyway, so rolling, and I'm looking for a specific thickness. Now this is something you can figure out on your own, what you like, if you want it thinner or thicker, but that does have an effect on cook time later. I used a glass bottle that had been cut. I was trying to use as my base for how to shape it because I didn't plan ahead as much as I thought I had. And now I'm shaping the bowl, and it didn't turn out very bowl-like. So I went and got bigger bowls to help me shape things, and that's when I realized I needed more clay. So now you see my daughter's hand and her little parrot, because she really wanted to help, but it wasn't as helpful as she thinks it would have been. So she has her parrot too. Specifically, what I'm trying to make today is a ring holder, because when I do things in the kitchen, or I am making things with clay, I have to take off my wedding and engagement ring so that they don't get just gunked up. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get the clay to be consistent width all the way around, and now I'm going to twist it for some fancy decor, I guess. Decoration? I don't know. I'm trying to make my terracotta look fancier, so you get some of the boho element with the rustic style of the terracotta. Now I'm sort of trying to form my bowl now that I got the ring roll that I want. So I'm doing a very quick, well, I'm not that quick obviously, it's sped up, but I'm doing a warming of the clay, because for some reason when it's cold it just kind of cracks and crumbles, and that's honestly the hardest part, is getting it warm. So now that it's warm, I'm rolling it together so that I know I have enough and I'll be able to get the desired thickness. I'm kind of picky about that. Some people might not be. Now we gotta cut it, because obviously I don't need that much for the bowl. And then I have more for later bowls. Now we're rolling. and retaping. So doing this with a baby in your lap is pretty difficult, but it's real life. And if you are not a master crafter but want to be, or you are in your head, you know, there's other things that go on. So you got a baby, and I thought the tape would hold better than it did, but it clearly didn't. So now I'm using one of my glass bowls to shape out my clay. And now I'm making sure the ring will fit, which it does very nicely. So we're going to place my twist rod ring holder, my real technical terms, onto the plate. This one's going to be more like a plate than a bowl. So calling this first one a bowl is a little preemptive. Preemptive? That's not the right word. Anyway, there we go. So now I'm using one of my tools to just kind of smooth it out. I've seen people do this with their hands. I've seen them do it with like the back of a fork, like the smooth part, not like the fork part, but the handle. So you don't need a special tool to do it. But that made it easier for me at the moment. I think by this point the baby had to go to bed, so she is not in my lap anymore, which sort of made that easier as well. Now I'm cutting my plate because I realized since it's just for rings, I don't need it as big as it is. If you're going to use it for rings and bracelets, which is a lovely option too, you can leave it bigger. It's really up to you and what you want to use it for. But I'm excited that it's for rings specifically because that's what I need in my kitchen and garden and crafting area when I do it consistently. I really should have made more than one of these, I think is what I'm realizing as I'm talking through this. So here I am. I want to make a nice little rim to it, edge, so that it just looks a little more decorative rather than just being plain. And I am not as consistent as rolling it out. I do have a tool that'll actually make it consistent, but I really wanted to do use things that most people would have at home, so I didn't use that tool, but it's like a Play-Doh pusher. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna etch in a little design, because you can paint it or you can etch. There's just this, because of the clay I'm using, it's not gonna dry out while you're working on it, so you have time. So I made a little flower, and I'm gonna add just a couple extra details to make it not all just seem like cuts in my plate. And so I poked a bunch of holes in it and then went over where my etching kind of blended together. So that's the first one with my ring. It fits. And that's the goal. So it holds my wedding ring and engagement ring so that nothing happens. And I'm pretty happy with it. So now we're getting close on to the next one. The next one I'm making, you didn't need to see me warm and roll it all out. This one's pretty quick. It is just gonna be a nice little bowl. I may paint it later, I might not, I haven't decided yet. But I am shaping it inside these glass bowls or cups. Technically they're glass Tupperware things. And I don't really love how the edges turned out, so I'm gonna stretch them a little bit and then manually shape the edges so that they have more of a rustic style for this one in particular. When I went and looked up jewelry bowls, they had a lot of wood ones, or they had cement, and this was sort of an in-between of all those things, I thought, was the terracotta. So that's what I'm doing. I think I like the look of this. It's kind of wavy, kind of pottery-like. Real nice. So I'm happy with that one, so I'm setting it aside. Now for this third one, just to show a quick little technique, this one I ended up being my favorite way to do it, and it was the easiest, and I thought it turned out the best. I'm basically making an acorn hat. I don't know the technical term, but I'm saying acorn hat. And I just did it until it was the desired thickness. And then it looked pretty nice. It looked organic. And I just set it down to flatten the bottom. And that one is my favorite for putting earrings in or whatever have you. So here we go to the oven. It needs to be 275. Gotta start my oven. And in it goes for 25 minutes. So that was it. That was a nice little how to make a rustic boho terracotta bowl for your jewelry and ring holder. I hope you enjoyed the video and you have a wonderful day. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and you'll be able to see more crafty videos like this one. Thanks. Bye.